Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be ranking the scariest horror endings of all time. From classic tales to modern frights, we'll explore the moments that have the power to haunt our nightmares. So buckle up and prepare yourself for a terrifying journey into the darkest depths of cinematic fear. Remember to like and subscribe for more spine-chilling content, and let's dive right in. The Babadook. This psychological horror film delves into the disturbing story of a widowed mother named Amelia and her 6-year-old son Samuel, who are tormented by a sinister children's book. The chilling tale revolves around a monster named the Babadook that emerges from the pages of the book and preys upon their sanity. As the Babadook's presence grows more menacing, Amelia finds herself battling not only with the creature, but also with her own inner demons and the disintegration of her relationship with Samuel. The film masterfully builds suspense through its haunting visuals and sound design, culminating in a terrifying climax. In a moment of desperation, Amelia attempts to exorcise Samuel, believing him to be possessed by the Babadook. However, this desperate measure backfires, leading to a horrifying revelation. It is revealed that Samuel has been embodying the Babadook all along. He had been feeding off his mother's fears and manipulating her into bringing the monster to life. The ending is deeply unsettling, suggesting that the cycle of terror will continue and that Amelia's fate is now intertwined with that of the Babadook and her son. Hereditary. This supernatural horror film dives into the dark secrets and sinister legacy of the Graham family. When Ellen, the family's secretive grandmother, passes away, a series of disturbing events begins to unfold. As the family prepares for Ellen's funeral, they discover disturbing secrets about their ancestry and uncover a hidden room filled with disturbing artifacts. The true extent of Ellen's involvement with a cult becomes apparent, revealing that she was a high-ranking member who performed satanic rituals. The film reaches a terrifying climax during the funeral, when Annie confronts Peter about his alleged role in the cult. He confirms his involvement and reveals that he has been possessed by a demonic entity known as Paimon. A horrifying ritual takes place during which Peter sacrifices his own daughter, Charlie, to summon Paimon fully into the earthly realm. The ending is both terrifying and disturbing, leaving viewers with a sense of dread and unease. As Paimon's presence grows stronger, it is clear that the Graham family is trapped in a terrifying cycle of violence and possession. Audition. This psychological horror film tells the story of a widower named Aoyama, who decides to hold auditions to find a new wife. Among the many hopefuls, he meets a mysterious woman named Asami, who seems perfect on the outside, but harbors a dark secret. As Aoyama becomes infatuated with Asami, and they begin a relationship, he slowly uncovers her disturbing side. The audition process gradually turns sinister as Aoyama begins to manipulate and torture those he deems unworthy. The film takes a horrifying turn when Aoyama discovers a hidden videotape that reveals the true nature of Asami's character. It is revealed that she has a history of violent behavior and necrophilia, having previously killed 2 of Aoyama's friends during their own audition. The ending is truly disturbing. With Asami tied up and seemingly subdued, Aoyama prepares to kill her. However, in a shocking twist, she overpowers him and reveals that she has been toying with him all along. She had purposely pretended to be a victim to manipulate Aoyama and ultimately uses his love against him, causing him to impale himself on a metal bar. The final shot of Asami embracing Aoyama's lifeless body is both grotesque and terrifying. Sinister. This supernatural horror film follows the story of Ellison, a true crime writer who moves into a house where a family was found brutally murdered. While exploring the home, Ellison discovers a box filled with home movies that depict other gruesome murders. As he delves deeper into these disturbing tapes, he uncovers a pattern and a sinister entity known as the Boogeyman. The films reach a terrifying climax when Ellison, driven by his obsession, fails to recognize the danger he is in. He ignores the warnings from his friend and daughter, who believe he is becoming consumed by the darkness surrounding the house. In a horrifying twist, the Boogeyman possesses Ellison's young son and uses him to lure Ellison outside. When Ellison goes out to investigate, he is confronted by the full force of the Boogeyman's presence. The ending is left ambiguous, but it is strongly implied that Ellison is either killed or taken by the Boogeyman. The film's final shots, showing the Boogeyman's influence spreading to other families through VHS tapes, suggest that the cycle of violence and possession will continue. The Conjuring. This supernatural horror film is based on the true story of the Perron family, who move into a farmhouse only to find it haunted by a malevolent spirit. As the family settles in, they begin to experience terrifying supernatural phenomena. The ghost of Bathsheba Sherman, an evil witch who cursed the land, seeks to torment them. The presence grows increasingly menacing, manipulating the youngest daughter, Cindy, and even attacking the father. To protect his family, the mother reaches out to paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren for help. Through their investigation, they uncover the dark history of the house and the vengeful spirit residing there. The film builds to a terrifying climax as the Warrens attempt to perform an exorcism on Cindy. During the ritual, Bathsheba's spirit takes control of Cindy, resulting in a violent struggle. Although the Warrens manage to banish the spirit temporarily, it is clear that the battle for the Perron family's souls is far from over. The ending leaves the audience with a sense of unease, suggesting that Bathsheba's presence still lingers and the possibility of her return remains. The Ring. This supernatural horror film is a remake of the Japanese film Ringu and tells the story of a journalist named Rachel Keller who investigates a videotape that supposedly kills anyone who watches it within 7 days. When Rachel's niece watches the tape, she also becomes part of this deadly curse. With only a few days left to live, Rachel teams up with her ex-husband, a police officer, to uncover the mystery behind the tape. Their investigation leads them to a secluded cottage where they discover the truth about the curse and the existence of a supernatural being named Samara. The film culminates in a terrifying showdown as Rachel races against time to break the curse. In a desperate attempt to save herself, Rachel creates a new videotape that combines elements from the original tape in an effort to trap Samara within it. The ending is both thrilling and eerie as Rachel successfully traps Samara, but at the cost of her own life. Samara's spirit is transferred to the new tape, but it is unclear whether or not Rachel has truly defeated the curse. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This slasher film introduces us to a group of friends who stumble upon the property of a family of cannibalistic killers, led by the iconic Leatherface. As the friends venture further onto the grounds, they unwittingly enter a slaughterhouse, where they are stalked and hunted down one by one. The relentless killer Leatherface, armed with a chainsaw, stalks his prey, delivering brutal and graphic kills. The film's unrelenting depiction of violence and its gritty, realistic style contribute to its overall scariness. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is considered a landmark in the slasher genre, influencing countless films that came after it. Its raw and disturbing imagery continues to haunt viewers, making it one of the scariest horror films ever made. Psycho. This psychological horror film, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, tells the story of Marion Crane, a secretary who embezzled money and goes on the run. While traveling, she comes across the Bates Motel, where she meets the mysterious Norman Bates, who runs the establishment with his mother. However, Marion soon discovers that Norman and his mother have a dark and sinister secret. The film's most famous scene, the shower scene, is a masterpiece of suspense and horror. The use of innovative editing and special effects creates a jarring and unforgettable sequence that has become a cultural icon. Psycho's exploration of psychological themes, such as identity and duality, adds depth to the scares. The revelation of Norman's split personality and his unhealthy relationship with his mother is both fascinating and terrifying. The Exorcist. This supernatural horror film is widely regarded as one of the scariest movies ever made. It follows the story of 12-year-old Regan McNeil, who is possessed by a demon named Pazuzu. As Regan's behavior becomes increasingly demonic, her mother, Chris, seeks the help of two priests, Father Damien Karras and Father Langston Marin, to perform an exorcism. The film is renowned for its special effects, which brought the possessed Regan to life in a terrifyingly realistic manner. The use of practical effects and makeup created a level of scariness that is hard to achieve with modern CGI. The Exorcist tackles religious and moral themes, raising questions about faith, good and evil. The intense and disturbing nature of the film has made it a controversial yet highly influential movie, leaving a lasting impact on the horror genre. A Nightmare on Elm Street. This slasher film introduced the world to Freddy Krueger, a disfigured child killer who haunts the dreams of teenagers, targeting them in their sleep and causing their deaths. The concept of a dream-stalking killer is both terrifying and innovative. Freddy's appearance, a burned and disfigured man wearing a striped sweater and a fedora, has become one of the most recognizable images in horror. The film's imaginative and nightmarish sequences showcase Freddy's ability to manipulate and torment his victims in their dreams, blurring the lines between reality and fantasy. A Nightmare on Elm Street gave birth to a successful franchise that spawned numerous sequels. The impact of the film on popular culture is evident in the catchphrases, quotes, and homages paid to it in other media. Now it's time to make your voices heard. Which of these horror endings kept you up at night? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If you enjoyed this spine-chilling journey, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, stay safe and don't forget to lock your doors.